Hey everybody, we're back. Welcome back to No Comps on Mondays, your favorite source for the latest cubing news that happened a couple of months ago. My name is Carter Williams, joined by my co-host Will Klauer, and today we'll be talking about Worlds 2025, an update sort of like 3 months too old, too late. I don't know. But we'll be talking about Worlds. We will also be addressing the Brendan Dunnigan clock podium situation. We'll be talking about Mid-Atlantic Championship 2025, which happened only about 3 weeks ago, so we're not too late on that one. We'll be talking about Georgia Championships 2026, which will be live streamed by Clicky Studios, and that is a competition that is under the radar right now, but you should definitely be looking forward to. We'll explain why. And finally, we'll also be talking about some regulation proposals that were in the forum of the World Cube Association and are being considered for next year's regulations. And as always, we'll round off the podcast with our personal cubing achievements and endeavors. So, hey Will, welcome back. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It feels good to be back and, you know, back to talking about the keeping community as a whole. I feel like I've been a little bit out of the loop for the past couple weeks, maybe a month, but it's gonna be back.
Yeah. This microphone is fake, by the way. I don't even know why I was holding it. It's just this headset one. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited to be back too. Honestly, haven't competed since. Actually, I competed a week ago. I haven't like truly been at a big comp since like mids 2025, which was pretty cool. We live streamed that one too, so I was working most of the time. But I feel like I've been invested in cubing. I was invested so much in like Worlds, and now it's sort of like whoa, there's a lot going on. It like this whole month there's just so many things going on, you know. So it's September, school starting. I got stuff to do as well. So yeah, intense times in the cubing community right now. But hey, you know what? That's just how it is. Let's talk about Worlds, which happened about I think it was July 2nd through July. Well, no, sorry, July 3rd through July 6th. How was your Worlds experience? Because we never talked about that.
It was very, very good. I really enjoyed the baseball on the day before and meeting up with everyone and just walking around Pike's Place. That was super fun. Doing the Space Needle with my family, and then just happening to run into a lot of our friends like Michael Nielsen and Zach Rydell was also very entertaining. And then the actual competition, of course, for me, it was so much less about the results and so much more about the people was able to talk to and cube with, and all the conversations I had with people who are from around the world, especially Poland and the Skip community. That was very entertaining to just kind of be at their table for quite a while. And of course, the finals were an unbelievable viewing experience, and it's just something I'm never gonna forget.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the first day like of Worlds for me was I landed I think July 1st at around like 9 a.m. I took a 2 hour like train ride to the hotel and I napped I think for like 5 hours. It was bad, dude. That was the only low light of the trip for me though. If we remember, I guess you're talking about Pike's Place and stuff. That was super cool. Because that was sort of like the first time I got to see all my friends since I landed. I mean, I did see some on the Tuesday, but again, 5 hour nap doesn't hold up very well when you're socializing. And I think I think there was just it was just overwhelming, you know. When you walked into the room, you're like, wow, and then you look to the right and you see like the whole side stage thing. That's where like the whole competition was supposed to fit, which would have been fine by the way. That wasn't even that bad of a space, but the sheer like quantity of like people like running across like the rooms, like I was getting like a workout every day, cardio like cardio went crazy. So yeah, um, I mean, I do remember. I a lot of the stories I have. I mean, there's a lot. There's some sort of like inside jokes, inside things, but the one I can properly explain is I sort of just like sit down to film like the 3x3 finals, and I look behind me, and it's Stew Cube. I'm like, what? Like what? Stu keeps just he's just behind me, and then like to the left, it's like Soup Timmy, and like somehow he knows my name. I don't even know how that happened, but Soup Timmy's like to the left. Like there's just so many people that I know. Like the cubicle's there. I look down to the right. There's like Maddie like sitting down after he did like his 3x3 solves. It was crazy, and then. Probably the worst part about that was it's when Stu Cube sits behind you, there's also a lot of people that go up to Stu Cube. So I was like sitting down on the floor, Stu Cube was like standing up, and there's like a circle of like 9 kids like around Stu Cube, and I was in the middle of that circle on the ground, like not engaging with any of it. Like I didn't make
Yeah.
any eye contact. I was like, dude, this is so many people. I mean, I feel bad. I didn't want to like because the worst thing I wanted to do was like stand up and like, hey guys, I'm here too. You know, hi, and like that just seems so weird. Sorry for my rant though. That's just a story that I feel like I can't not share. It was kind of insane.
Yeah. And then of course I don't know, we had the DG concert, which was an amazing experience as well. And that was right after, what was it, Pyramix finals? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was surprised at how many people just kind of skipped out on seeing what was it, 6 or 7 finals? I think it was 7x7 finals
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
Which of course, I mean, it's not the most entertaining final, but it was very nice to see all our friends come out and have a good time. And I think our film of that went infinitely better than the first time.
Yeah.
And I think the product is just really fun to go back and watch.
Yeah. I mean, I remember editing the first one. I was like, dude, how am I gonna get through this? And then I realized like as I like come home with like all this footage on my SD card, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to do that same thing again. But the good thing about doing something for the second time is you know how to do it because you did it the first time. So it was a much better experience I think overall. I mean your camera work is always amazing, but it was especially I remember seeing like all the clips that you took, and I'm like, how was Zach like crowd surfing? Like I these are just things I couldn't pay attention to because I was on one camera. I see like was it Curran like on someone's shoulders? I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
was it
yeah.
Stone or Zach? I don't remember.
I think it
Um
was the,
yeah. Uh just those things that like you could only capture because you had like the mobility of your camera. Mine was like sort of bogged down. But I'm immensely grateful for you helping out, being that third camera angle because that movie would have sucked with just me running around the concert. Like half the footage would have been unusable, just me running around. So thank you for being that for providing that
hey,
angle for me.
you asked me to focus on crowd shots, so that's basically all I got.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, the crowd was very. I'm very grateful the crowd was as in it as like we were, because I was so worried when you said crowd shots that the people would just kind of be standing around, but then they really got into it.
yeah. The Patrick Ponce mosh pit. All right. Next up, we did want to talk about something that happened after Worlds or during Worlds, but was caught after Worlds. There were 2 missed scrambles in clock final. One of them being Anthony Stoyak's second solve and Brendan Dunnigan's last solve, which both of which were massively important and shook up the podium. So Anthony got third, I believe. Brendan stayed at second, though the DNF solve at the end is unfortunate. It's still should go addressed. And then the winner now of the clock final at Seattle is Vladimir. Kapelstiansky. So I think I pronounced that right. But anyway, the I think there's just a lot of you see like a lot of backlash because I think what people are most mad about is that this was addressed way after it should have been. And not only that, allegedly, or I think it's been confirmed, that Anthony was denied ability to check his scrambles, which could have, like if they caught him there, he could have done a solve there, followed the regulations, all this sort of stuff. So it just brings up like a whole conversation of like what should happen next.
Well, I think for starters, the validity of scrambles and events like clock and pyramids and two by two and Scube, and definitely square one as well, need to be reinforced just a lot more. Like this is Worlds, this is the most high profile competition you can get. Miss scrambles like that just can't happen, especially for an event like clock. Like I said, I mean, if a miss scramble happened in Megaminx finals, I guarantee this wouldn't be happening. But yeah, clock is just well, clock being one where you memorize the entire solution in inspection, like one looking two by two, for example. But unlike two by two, there's pretty much only one solution that everyone is doing. Well, to some extent. Um, so it's just unfortunate that it happened to clock, but it's also, I think, entirely the fault of the scramblers and the people responsible for assigning the scrambles, maybe, or just,
Well,
the delegates on stage, perhaps. I don't know.
yeah, well, allegedly, it was a transportation misscramble because the scramble was confirmed to be double checked
Oh, okay.
before it was
I
sent
didn't.
out. So, I mean, yeah, though, I just
Then,
how did it like turn? It's kept having like all these conversations because when you have like a clock cover, right? Well, I don't have a clock cover to show you. At least I don't think so. But when you have, actually, I do. When you have like a clock cover like this, right? You put it in. Apparently, I think the misscramble was maybe by like all plus one minus one. You have to make sure you put it in the clock carefully. And I can't see like how you can like mess up this motion, like not touch the pins because the like if no matter how much you like shake up the clock, I mean it's still the same. When you put the clock down, maybe, but like you shouldn't really be. I don't know. It's just there's just so many like logistical problems of like we'll never know what exactly caused it because if the scramble was properly checked, which I do believe honestly, it had to. I still think there was some sort of carelessness, some sort of human error, because when miss scrambles like they happen, but they're not like frequent. Like this is not like a frequent problem. It's just so crazy that it happened twice. It happened on different stages too. So I don't know.
well, I think in some sense that this is a wake-up call to check and make sure that it's not a common thing because, I mean, how often do we really know when transportation scrambles even happen
Exactly.
unless a world record is happening or it is the world championships or maybe even some national championships, but still, or continental championships. But it's just, I mean, these covers are specifically designed for clock and square one, right?
Yes.
So they are designed to prevent these transportation errors, and if it's transportation errors happening, then we need a new design. Like that's plain and simple like that. You can't just like move on from this happening and, award all of them the first place prize money and just call it a day. Like changes need to happen in how clock is run.
Right. I mean, at the same time, it's sort of like I don't know if you remember last year. I think it was around April of last year. There was like there's so many things that happened in clock in that one day. I think there was like multiple miss scrambles happening There was like one incident where Carter Thomas, he received a miss scramble on his last solve, which would have, if it were to count, would have been world record, or world record average, excuse me. And then he had to redo the solve that competition, and he got a worse time. And that's a career thing, you know. Like even though it happened at a local, that's a thing you'll like think about probably for the rest of your cubing career, and that kind of sucks. When especially when you think about now too, like the world championship, like even more like that hurts, and that's just undeniable. I can't like sugarcoat that at all. What I
I think,
you could yeah.
sorry, but like, I think at a local, it's a little bit different. Like, yes, world record, Miss Scramble will like forever haunt you, but it's also like, at the end of the day, how hard are you really going to blame potentially, just young, very young volunteer cubers that have probably had like a long day or just
Okay,
are
yeah.
fairly new to this or like novice. Like there's only so much you can dish out to
I should probably touch a
local
yeah.
competition runners,
I should
but like Worlds is different.
Yeah, I should probably touch back on that point. I don't I'm not blaming like the local like kids that like scramble. Like you should still do your scrambling assignments. They do very hard work. At the same time though, we've brought up like an environment where like that sort of thing can happen, and there has to be some sort of like intolerance where we shouldn't let that happen necessarily. Like have I forgot like the complete total like the total situation, but have a delegate scramble everything that but has like world record potential, so that it doesn't like fall in the hands of um some just like a kid, which usually that's not the case. But when we think about with the going back to the world championship situation, if we're thinking about measurements or actions being taken to have this active prevention, I'm not seeing any signs of life from the WRC, unfortunately. Which I mean, it's just this is the same thing that happened with all the like controversial WCA decisions. They're not very open about it publicly, that they've addressed that, hey, we're gonna do this, we're working on it right now. I know Anthony's mom, I believe, they said that, or she said that they have filed an appeal to the appeals committee to hopefully get that uh to hopefully get some sort of like decision out of it that isn't just the DNF or the DNS of the scramble. But if we're thinking about prevention, how do you prevent this at all, and how do you codify it in the regulations?
Yeah, exactly. But gosh, what was I gonna say? I think, with all the geniuses that we have in the Cuban community, why hasn't a auto scrambler been developed, like robotic auto scrambler? Because like
Oh man.
that takes out a lot of human error, and it's also doable in the sense that I know, if robots can solve a cube, robots can scramble a cube. I don't think it would be cheap at all, but like, come on. People are thinking like flying cars. I'm thinking like auto scrambler robots.
That's crazy. That's okay. That's crazy. I thought your argument was genuine there, and then I went there, and now I know for sure that that's what's on your mind. Like forget about prize money. Forget about the appeal decision.
I'm just I'm just saying, like, it takes out all the human error of miss scrambles, like, barring technical issues that can be addressed. But like, come on, we're a community of geniuses. Where are they now?
I
Where are all
guess.
the robotics people?
At the same time, though, I just feel like yeah, auto scrambler is not a bad idea on paper. Is it manageable? Is it actually feasible? No. That's no.
Well, I think it's feasible for world competitions, worlds,
You want to see
continental
you
championship.
want to see an auto scrambler in Uppsala next year, or in 2 years.
Well, it doesn't have to be in 2 years, but like eventually
Right.
it it should be considered. Like, people aren't really hand making cars anymore. It's because they've invented the entire system to just like make a car
That's
on its
true.
own. To
That's
just scramble a cube.
that's true. But as much as I'd love to debate you on that, maybe I feel like we're diverging a little off topic from the clock situation. All I could say about that is just to maybe put a cap on it. Is I hope there's some decision out of here that's a positive, that's received well by the community and by the people affected, and b that it comes quickly and at an appropriate time. Okay, now we're gonna move on to Mid Atlantic Championship 2025, the competition that happened about exactly 3 weeks ago. By the way, in the great state of Pennsylvania, in the town of Oaks, Pennsylvania. So I was there. Will unfortunately was not, but I don't know if you watched the stream that much. I hope you did. But if you watched the stream, was there anything that you want to like comment on about the competition itself? Maybe.
Finals was really hype. Um, yeah, I watched quite a bit of that final day, but I don't know. I mean, wasn't Zayn on pace for like a potential 2x2? What was
Yeah,
it
he was
PR
he was
or
like on
world
pace
record
for
at some
something.
point?
He was on pace for something. I forgot if it
And
was on the final day or not. But yeah.
I was surprised that I think some events ended up being slower podiums than last year's mids, and I think that's because of like the time of year change and the like regional change, because it's just a different batch of cubers due to both
Yeah,
of those things. But yeah, it was very interesting.
was very interesting. I mean, we had like there were a lot of people. I mean, there were a couple of New England kids, but for the most part, they were all Mid Atlantic uh keepers there, and that was it's pretty cool to see. I mean, in terms of podium, I mean Fiona Bao, uh, went went pretty well for her in clock. Aaron Jake Wong went crazy on clock, that competition. I think first sub was it a sub free average for him? I forgot the specifics, but it was just a blur to me. You know what? I was sort of like sitting in the stream station in the back, my stream dungeon as I like to call it, and it's like you sort of see everything from a screen, but like if you just like turn around behind you, you notice that the stuff's like real, and it's kind of crazy that like when I like step back and when I like walk back into the venue like after lunch, I just sort of see like the banner, the wires, and I'm like, this whole thing, this whole operation is crazy, and it's like it's not possible without you guys, especially in the audience, to Will, especially, to everyone who works at Clicky, especially. It's just that part's crazy, but I mean that's just like a plug for myself, I guess. But in terms of the competition, yeah, it was kind of a blur, but in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess more what I was trying to say is like a lot of people were pretty upset about when this competition happens. Reasonably so because it was the first week of classes for pretty much any college kid, and at least in our friend group, we had a lot of uh, freshman college students who obviously their freshman year they can't go at all, and so it was also a little bit far north for people from who came up from like North Carolina to the Richmond one, and quite a few Virginia Cubers. So like we didn't see Ari. Well, no, Ari was there, but
Was he?
oh wait, no. This is from last year. Ari was not there,
Yeah.
but we did see Roxy go, and Roxy didn't go last year. So it's a very interesting trade of competitors, even though it's the same region. And so I think it's a good way to get like a wide range of new winners. But it's not the greatest for people who want to defend their title. And I think that this competition should not take place again on August 30th next year.
Yeah. I mean, my school is fortunate enough to start after Labor Day, which is crazy, by the way. Um, I'm I saw the eye roll, by the way. But yeah, I know. That's a privilege for me in my world, but I understand the struggle of, if you're out to college, like you're probably, some people don't even go to college like anywhere close to this region, and they identify as Mid Atlantic, and that's just an opportunity they don't have anymore to compete, which it does suck. But what I hope from the organization next year is that we find a pretty cool location and a very convenient time. Those are basically my only two asks for any major championship. Pretty cool location and a convenient time. So,
Yeah, I mean, compared to what the first year that Mid Atlantic was in New York,
Albany,
and
yeah.
then they went completely opposite, so they went to Richmond, and then now they're kind of in the middle. But like in my opinion, I think Baltimore would be a little bit more of a reasonable option for a lot of us. I mean, there's not too many people from like upstate New York, like wine country New York that I
Yeah.
think cube in our region. So I don't know, but I think Baltimore would be really fun, and we could just do. No, we can't do the Nationals venue. That would be a little bit too big. But
That
like,
would be pretty big, yeah.
yeah, I think you'll never catch me in Philly. I'll just put that way.
Wow. Okay.
As a DC New York sports team fan, I'm not being in Philly.
You're not being on the on the day zero of mids when we were setting up, I accidentally wore my Giants shirt. And I only realized when I stepped foot in Pennsylvania, I was like, "Oh shoot! Like people are looking at me. This is not good."
Hey, if it was a Saquon Barkley shirt, I think you'd be fine. But like,
All right, shut up, man. Oh man,
I'm just
I won't be able to sleep well tonight, will I? All right.
it's okay because tomorrow you guys beat the Chiefs.
Yes. Okay. Right. I off topic, but actually, this is going up on Monday, so the Giants may have won against the Chiefs, which
Dude, prime Russell Wilson against the Cowboys. Like that was so exciting to see.
that was actually crazy. I was watching that game with my dad. It was like we were
And
going
Neighbors
crazy,
and Robinson. Yeah.
and then it fell apart in overtime. But hey, you know what? It was pretty cool for like the most of it, I guess. Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to move on and talk about Georgia Championships 2026 taking place in Dalton, Georgia at the same venue as Southeast Champs was this year. And it's like from January 17th to 18th. And it's super exciting. Clicky will be streaming it. I unfortunately can't go. It's a little bit too far and a little bit too close to the start of my spring semester. But uh, Carter will be going, and some of our Southeast slash, well,
That's one Southeast guy, Will
one
Vandergrift. He'll
Southeast
be
guy
there,
will be there.
and
But
then
yeah, it's a pretty stacked competition as well. Brendan Dunnigan's going. Dominic is as well. I'm not surprised by him going. Caleb Chen, Zeke. Uh, yeah, there's got a lot. Nicholas Sanchez. So it's pretty exciting.
I'm actually pretty surprised that Brendan's making the trip all the way there, because I DM'd him earlier this morning when I saw this actually, like, first of all, I saw this actually last night, like all these guys weren't on here, so I was like, okay, like I was thinking about, like, in my mind, like the stream, like how, like, who I'm gonna commentate, like, okay, this is like these are some pretty good cubers, like these are good cubers. I'm not saying like anything, and then I I checked this morning and I'm like, Brendan Dunnigan registered. Oh my god, dude! And like I thought he was like I don't know. Maybe he's like securing a spot or something. So I like DM him and I'm like, so are you going to GA champs? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, what? So this is crazy. I mean, Brendan Dunnigan is a world class solver in like all regards. He's on the top of the psych sheet in like every event. Like he's second for 3x3, fourth for 2x2. He's second for pretty much all big cubes. He's actually beat Vishwa in some big cubes. He's second in OH. He's first in clock, obviously. He's third in Mega. He's third in Pira. He's second in Scube. And of course he's first in Squan. So he is literally
Yeah.
top 4 in all events at this competition. That's insane, in my opinion.
Podium sweep.
It could be a
On
podium sweep,
screen.
yeah. Or even better, it could be a win a win sweep at Georgia Champs. Actually, that's not true because
Ah,
Sujin's pretty good. So I don't know if that'll happen.
Susan
But
and Dom would be pretty hard to beat.
they also have
But
well actually Dom's average is only a sub 2 and sorry. Uh wait. Wait no. Sorry, only a sub 2 and 2x2.
What?
I thought you meant
Oh,
Dom
no. I'm talking about Skew.
I thought like, oh, Dom would be pretty hard to beat, and that sounds so like bad now looking back at it. Like, oh, he's only sub 2. He's like the only sub 2 guy
That's
there.
crazy.
I know. Dom, by the way, has like a 0.8 second lead over Brendan in terms of PRs. So, at least in Scube. Anyway, though, really exciting competition. I want to go to Waffle House. That's my goal. Like, yeah, I might
You could
compete.
have just gone when you did mids in Richmond.
Did you go to Waffle House when we went to mids or
No,
okay? Wait,
I live here. I don't have to go to Waffle.
wait
That's not like a
like
celebration.
how often like do you go to like is Waffle House like sort of like a thing where like you go like pretty often like you have breakfast now and then, or is it like a treat for you like you go like once in a while, or do you just not go at all?
I don't go, man.
Really?
To you, it's like a mythical place because
It
you don't
is,
have it.
dude.
But like here, it's just like any other place, man. I mean, I don't really go out to get like fast food or like diner food or whatever. So like, I'm not hitting up Waffle House every day. I do go to Wawa, I'll say that. But like,
That's not the same
no,
thing. I mean, do you have IHOP
like
in
Waffle
your
House isn't.
area?
Yeah, we have a.
Okay, so basically to you, Waffle House is like IHOP, right?
I mean, yeah. I don't know
What a
why it's such like
disgrace. Okay,
a myth. I don't know why it's such like a myth for the northeast of
I think
the country,
I don't
but
know if you've seen the Anthony Bourdain video about him going to Waffle House, but that's sort of like ingrained in my mind now. Like, you know what? Like, he had a good time there. I'll probably have a good time there too. Um, Cookout. Cookout is another restaurant that I kind of want to go to.
yeah,
That looks pretty crazy. Um,
it's not a restaurant. I'll put it that
it's
way.
a fast food chain. I
Um,
know. Yes.
it's not even. It's like most locations are drive-through only, so you're not sitting down anywhere. But it is good shakes. So
That was good shakes. Okay, I will keep that in mind. Thank you, Will, for your culinary advice. Okay, so let's talk about the regulation changes that are being proposed right now on the WCA forum. So I looked through them. Some of them were kind of crazy. Some of them maybe not. I mean, they talked about like the miss scrambles, well, like miss scrambles and 5x5 and Mega Minx, which that's sort of already a thing. But there's also this proposal, actually two proposals that really caught my eye. So the first one is probably like there's like a not so intuitive one and there's like an intuitive one. So I'll go with the not so intuitive one first. The first one is dual rounds. So dual rounds is where you compete like part like you know how you compete in like round one and round two. So like you do two average of fives, but from how I understand it, you do everybody does two average of fives, but the best average of five counts, I think, for the official result for that round. It's called a dual round because you're technically doing two rounds, but only one of those results is going to count. At least that's how I understand it. Um, I I think that's how it's interpreted. Yeah, is based on a competitor's better results across the two results. So it can only contain the first and second round of an event. It cannot be a final, obviously. Um, yeah. So what do you think about dual rounds?
I think I think this was proposed by the same people who are always complaining that, oh, I can't get any good official results in competition ever. It's just five solves, and it's like, dude, dual rounds. That okay? One huge waste of time. So you can't host like any events at competition. Like I love competitions that have such a big variety in events, even if it's only one round, like cubing with the Cougars. And two, come on, no one needs to do 10 solves. I'm not gonna sit here and do like an average of 12 in competition and then go do another round, like a round two, and then maybe the round two is also you could have an entire competition that is
You cut out there. Sorry.
just dual rounds for first. You could have an entire competition that is just three by three. You could have first round that is a dual round, so it's 10 solves, and then second round, which is a dual round, which is another 10 solves. So you've already done 23 by three solves in one day, which is more than anyone ever does at any competition because there's always like a max of four rounds. And then you go and do finals, which is your other five solves. So by the end of the day, you've done an average of 25 in competition. Like that's no, I don't need that. I
Yeah.
don't need that at all.
Yeah.
And I don't want to personally sit through where three by three is not my favorite event. I don't want to sit through 10 solves and then just go and do like only five solves of Scube or something and then be like done. It's like no.
Right.
Five solves and one average per round keeps everything even and the events are like um what's the word? More versatile and the space between rounds, like having three by three on one in the morning and then three by three on two right after lunch and then finals later, also just makes for a more entertaining day.
Right. I think from what I've read in the official post, the dual round concept was brought up because of the idea that when you look at like Pretzelmania, those types of competitions, that the 75% limit is like arbitrary. Like, why is it 75? So the proposal is that you just have everyone compete, but you don't have like complete 100% round advancement because that's not a competition. That's just like a free round for everybody. Round one, you can do whatever you want. You could DNF all yourselves, but if there's 100% advancement, then you go to the next round. So this dual round concept is sort of like having multiple times. Not saying that that's something that I believe in necessarily, because I understand the place for pretzel manias and those types of competitions. I enjoy those competitions, and not necessarily in terms of wow, I got so many chances to compete, because I'm fortunate enough to not have to worry about cutoffs that much now. I mean, I was at that stage at one point. I think a lot of keepers were, but the idea is just a little like I see where it's coming from, but at the same time, it's sort of like I think the 75 is fine. I don't
Let
know.
me tell you, man.
I'm
Let me tell you,
sure
man.
first time cubers are gonna beat me up on that, but you go.
Like you really want to go and sit down and scramble one round of three by three for an hour
No, of course
at
not.
Pretzel Mania because they're doing a dual round.
No,
Like,
no, of course not.
yeah,
Yeah,
I get like for new competitors, it's nice to do more than one average, but also there's so much more to, for example, like my first competition than just one round of 3x3. It's like s- significantly less focus on the competition and more focus on just making friends and cubing with people at the start. And then like, once you get competitive and or like once you start feeling like you're becoming a more competitive person in cubing or whatever, then yeah, you just start making more rounds and stuff. So it's not a problem.
Yeah. Um. Certainly, that's a solution, I guess. But I guess we could stop talking about dual rounds because that's I feel like that's sort of gone and dusted. Let's maybe think about more about the best of five blindfolded thing, which is the other regulation that caught my mind. So instead of having best of three, which is the only format allowed currently under WCA regulations for free by free blindfolded, let's give everyone five solves for free by free blindfolded instead of three. Um, and then I think that also means that I believe that the I think I actually don't necessarily know if they're gonna be replacing best of three completely. I think yeah, so instead I think they'll still keep best of three, but they will take away mean of three and replace it with average of five. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was scrolling through this and I found a part that just kind of really confused me, which is where they say getting an average of five is expected to be easier for competitors than a mean of three since it requires only 4 out of 5 successes. But I mean, that implies that in every average of five that you get, you will have a completely successful mean of three plus another like I don't really understand that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the statistic is like, yeah, you don't have to 100% every single solve, but like there are more solves.
Hmm.
So I don't think that really changes much unless like you get success, DNF, success, success. In that case, I guess it would be an average of five, but it wouldn't be a mean of three because you would take off the last two solves. But I don't know. I don't think it changes too much except it makes the rounds longer. And for people who do average like 6 minutes, I guess it doesn't change too much because it's always going to be like cumulative 10 minutes. So you just do how many solves you have time for, which is still fine. But I don't know. It could be interesting to see at a bigger competition for finals where every competitor is expected to do a lot more successes than DNFs. But if the win is still just based off of single, then I just have a hard time grasping what the goal of this reg is.
I think the goal is when you look at when you look at like competitors like at the top level, like blind free blind in general, it's not actually that common. I feel like as an event, like I feel like it's dying. Like it's not dying, but like I don't. It's of course not gonna die. It's never gonna be removed, but it just feels like the people are reluctant to hold it. Because first of all, you need a quiet environment for purity blindfolded. So any like mall competition, any competition with like any sort of noise to like the left or the right of it, they're gonna there's gonna be like basically some sort of problem some competitors will complain about. So they'd rather just avoid that. I think with free by free blindfolded, the idea is that if you're a top level solver, you don't get the rounds that often, and you only go to a competition with one round of free by free blindfolded, which is the case in most of these competitions, and you only get to do free solves while the other competitors in their top events do like multiple. Um, and even like if you do like 6x6 or 7x7, those are long solves, so those have to be mean of three like naturally. Free blind, you're like doing it quick, like 20 seconds, but like it just feels like you've wasted like free solves. I don't know. I think they just want to give people more solves because of the now that free blind is getting more competitive, compared to when it was before, right?
I guess that makes sense. And I guess I'm all for it if it helps out top competitors. Um, Personally, it doesn't have any real effect, except that I hope my mean of three on my profile will still stand. Like, I don't know what
I
exactly
think it'll
they're
be
planning on
replaced
doing.
actually, unfortunately.
I don't
So
know exactly what they're planning on doing with previous results and previous world records, but
I think they just get
that
lost to
probably.
history probably because that's what happened when feet got removed, right? So
Well, no, but it's like, does the like when they make this change, what is the world record? Is it the mean of three still until someone gets an average of five?
I think it,
I would
yeah.
assume so.
I don't think I would assume so. I think once the regulation is switched, it would just be undetermined until someone got an average of five, and they could be called a world record holder for a day. I'm sure what's gonna happen is if that gets changed, someone's gonna do a January 1st competition, and there will be a top blindfolded solver that will at least claim it for like a week or so, and then
If that's the case, then I 100% still believe that the mean of threes should be on your WC profile. The same way that Magic results are still on people's profiles. Like, you shouldn't lose those world records from your profile just because they changed the format.
right. I mean, Megaminx had a Mina free format a very long time ago. That probably still shows up on people's profiles. So I'm sure that'll be the case now. So overall, these are regulations that are not confirmed, but are being considered at least. And I wouldn't mind the best of five format. I'm really interested to see if the dual rounds thing goes through, how that gets perceived. Um, if people will actually do it. So we'll see what happens with that.
All right, so now we're going to move on to just kind of what we've been up to in cubing, just any achievements or new chapters in our careers and such. And I guess I'm going to start out here, but I recently went to two competitions. I went to Fredericksburg Summer PM and ODU Big Blue. Both were pretty fun. I think I enjoyed ODU a bit more. Third in Pyraminx. This was my first Pyraminx podium since since this summer, I guess.
That's good.
So that was pretty fun. And yeah, in terms of like actual practicing, I haven't been able to do much, especially with Scube. There is a competition not too far in Virginia Beach. I think it's in October, but it looks like it's not going to happen because there's not enough people registered at the moment.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
At least that's what it was at least last weekend, but yeah.
I mean, I actually did. I was like looking at the map today, and I was like, "Oh, there's a competition in Virginia Beach." I didn't check anything further than that. But I mean, right now it has like 36 people
Oh yeah, it does.
with a registration
That
limit
that's
of
an
100. So 33
yeah.
36% registration filled. We'll see what happens with that. Um, yeah. Is, is there anything else you want to discuss, or should I go?
Not really. At ODU, I got my first blind success in a very long time, but it was just kind of a fluke, and it wasn't a PR or anything. But
Oh,
I might get back into blind at some point. We'll see.
oh, hey, a success is still a success. So, congratulations on that, and on your PMX podium too. All right. Stuff that I did. So mids was kind of a wash for me. I was more focused on the stream. I didn't really do that well in Clock or Mega. That's fine. Actually, I did get a sub free in at mids. I believe I forgot what the exact time was. I think it was like I think it was PR2 at the time. Uh, it was a if I 274. So that was PR2 at the time. Though I got a 357 PR average at Manhattan Mega Mix Mayhem 2, which it was pretty good. Honestly, quick confession, my goal was to make All-Stars. I did not make All-Stars. But that average would have been very close, but it wouldn't have mattered. And it doesn't matter anyway because qualification has already ended. I'm still thinking if I should go to All-Stars or not. I'm contemplating. I'm working out like what I would do if I were to go there, stuff like that. So yeah, Manhattan Mega Mix Mayhem was a pretty cool competition. Mega Mix didn't really go that well, but I don't really care. I got some sub 40s. I'm fine with that. And yeah, the 357 I'm pretty happy about, but I really just want to bring it. I just want to really see where my limit is because I know that's not where my limit lies. But once I reach that limit of my clock average and I feel satisfied, I'm just probably gonna drop the event until it gets removed by the WCA eventually. I don't know. So, yeah. The 268 also happened there. That is my PR2 now. Beats the PR2 from last time. I haven't really gotten some sub frees since actually I'm trying to find the name of this competition that I see on here. I haven't gotten a sub free since April of 2025. So, all right, cool.
Pretty solid.
All right, and yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the No Comps on Mondays podcast for today. So today we talked about Worlds and how much fun we had there. We talked about the clock podium. We addressed some of our concerns and also some future situations and that could happen and some solutions for later on. We talked about the Mid-Atlantic Championship 2025. It was kind of a blur, but it was a very good time. We talked about Georgia Championships 2026. There's a crazy site sheet there. Brendan Dunnigan is top 4 in all events, top 3 in every event except for 2x2. That is insane. It's a lot of events and a lot of rounds for him to go through. Wow. And we also talked about the new regulation proposals for January 2026, including dual rounds and the best of 5 format. Both very controversial and both very interesting. As always, round off the podcast today with our personal keeping achievements and endeavors. Thank you guys so much for watching No Comps on Mondays. If you want to watch the next episode, that will be much earlier than the 3-month hiatus we just took. The 3-month hiatus we take like every 2 months. I don't know. It was great seeing you guys again. We're probably going to upload the next No Comps on Mondays, not on a Monday, unfortunately. Oh no, that's so sad. But hey, do remember that there's always no competitions on Mondays, only Saturdays and Sundays, and maybe Fridays, but you know, and maybe Thursdays or Fridays. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next